not in the conventional sense. She had taken a job at Willard State Hospital in New York in the summer of 1910, a sprawling institution meant to house the criminally insane and those deemed too unstable to function in society. In the dusty corners of the hospital's history lay tales more sinister than any she'd imagined. Willard was built in the 1860s, originally serving as a refugee for the mentally ill. By the time Evelyn arrived, it had morphed into a place of despair, its walls echoing with the restless spirits of those lost to the system. Patients were often treated with barbaric methods, including lobotomies and insulin shock therapy. The hush of the halls was often broken by shrieks and cries of desperation.
They took Mr. Tanaka
One evening,
last night.
after a shift that left her emotionally drained, Evelyn stumbled upon a hidden room marked "Records Do Not Enter." Curiosity gnawed at her as she glanced down the dimly lit corridor, the air thick with dread. Caution was overpowered by a desire to unveil the truth lurking within. Inside, she discovered rows of dusty files and photographs of former patients with haunted pasts. One face in particular drew her attention: Clarissa Hart, a woman committed for melancholy more than a decade earlier. But the notes indicated she had been subjected to horrifying experiments meant to control her mind. Evelyn's blood ran cold as she realized that Clarissa had died mysteriously in the institution, her death classified as natural. What had truly happened to her? As she pored over the documents, a sense of impending doom wrapped around her like a shroud. Days turned into weeks, and Evelyn's obsession with Clarissa's story grew. She began to notice that the staff were growing uneasy around her, casting furtive glances as if she were a ghost haunting their whispers. Gossip swirled through the hospital like the evening fog. Rumors of strange occurrences in the night shifts, where patients would sometimes vanish without a trace. Desperate to uncover the truth, she sought help from fellow staff, but they were either too frightened or too complicit in the hospital's dark secrets. One night, she overheard a conversation about an underground procedure known as the quieting, where patients deemed too vocal or disruptive were taken away and never seen again. Her heart raced. She couldn't help but wonder if this was Clarissa's fate. As insomnia set in, haunting dreams flooded her nights. One such dream revealed a shadowy figure beckoning her toward a heavily barred door deep within the hospital, a door that should never be opened. The warning was clear. Some horrors were meant to remain buried. Ignoring her gut instinct, Evelyn ventured toward the door she had dreamt about.
Terrifying.
It turned out to be the entrance to an abandoned wing of the hospital. The atmosphere thickened, and the walls seemed to breathe. Inside, she discovered a makeshift laboratory where horrific experiments were conducted on patients. The sickening reality of what she had unearthed churned her stomach. In the dim light, she found shackles, unfinished charts, and faded photographs of patients subjected to inhumane treatment. It was then that she recognized a flicker of movement from the corner of her eye. Shapes that seemed to dart between shadows with mournful cries. Goosebumps erupted on her flesh as she felt cold fingers brush against her. Evelyn turned to flee, but was stopped short by a chilling voice. "You shouldn't have come here. They don't like visitors." It was Clarissa, or rather, a specter of her trapped in a perpetual cycle of torment. With wide eyes, Evelyn listened as Clarissa shared the fateful night of her disappearance. The hospital staff had treated her like a piece of furniture, pawning her off to death in the name of medical science. Determined to expose the horrors of Willard State Hospital, Evelyn escaped the nightmarish wing, her heart racing as the cries of lost souls echoed behind her. But would anyone believe her? Would anyone listen to the tormented voices of those buried in the depths of history? In the following weeks, she crafted a detailed letter containing everything she had witnessed, pooling her courage to send it to the local newspaper. As she dropped it in the mail, she felt the weight of the world lift. But at what cost? Days later, panic enveloped Evelyn as she learned that the letter had not only gone unnoticed, but her fellow nurses had started disappearing too. The shadows had eyes, watching her every move, warning her to stay silent. Now haunted not only by the ghosts of the patients, but also by the repercussions of her own bravery, Evelyn understood that the horror of Willard wasn't merely in its past, but also in its ever-present and consuming darkness. This was not just a story of decay and despair. It was a chilling reminder of what lies beneath when we dare to seek the truth. The echoes of the asylum still whisper in the winds, waiting for someone to listen.